Well, I need something to connect myself with the last two presenters. And so I am a proud runner of the Krispy Kreme Challenge. Yeah. You say, what is the Krispy Kreme Challenge? The Krispy Kreme Challenge is when you run 2.5 miles, eat a dozen donuts, run back 2.5 miles in under an hour. I've done it twice.
I thought he was great. I love this growing analogy because I'm a gardener. I just liked his presentation. I thought he was pretty funny. I felt like he did tie it together for me because I was feeling that, what am I going to do with all this? So that helped a lot. And just the fact that we need to cultivate and work towards growing and not fixing.
And I want you to answer this question, okay? What's the resource that you need for you right now to grow as a leader? I mean, you're taking advantage of a huge resource by being at this conference, right? But what's the resource you need to grow yourself? Or what's the resource you need to grow your team? What is it that if you could provide this, I think it would help us be even more effective in the things we're doing. Now, when I ask you to talk to that other person, I'm going to give you about 90 seconds, okay? When the 90 seconds is over, you will hear the train whistle. That's just the cue that our train of thought is getting ready to move to another station. 90 seconds for the person next to you, answer the question, go. Cultivating, you're nurturing. You are proactive, right? Gardeners know that they can't just look out at the garden and say, grow! They have to plant seeds. They got to get their hands dirty. And if no matter how much planting they do today, they're not going to have plants and a harvest tomorrow. It's going to be somewhere down the road that they're going to reap that harvest.
Yeah, he was awesome. The bottom line, showing people, I think that's a really good idea for us, to show people what we're doing with our money and how we're spending it. And the communication to everybody, I don't think we do enough of that.
Your number one job as a leader or a manager is to develop the members of your team. Yes, you've got some other responsibilities that are just yours. I get that. But if you miss that first priority of developing your team, you're always going to be busy. You're always going to be struggling more than you should because you're so focused on being a mechanic and fixing their problems so they'll leave you alone so you can do your work.
Super inspiring. Think about, like, you can just be anywhere in the company, but yet have super big impact.
When you're listening real intently to them, when they say something that you're curious about or you want to know more about, interrupt them. Now, that shouldn't be as hard. Well, I know people in Minnesota are pretty nice, you know. If I was doing this in New York, no problem. Okay, I got it. All right. What would it look like if you paid more attention to the person and be willing to really notice what their frame of mind is, their attitude is, their perspective is, and speak to that? Because if you can grow them, they can fix their own problems. But if you're constantly the one just fixing their problems, they got to come back to you every time, and that doesn't help grow yourself or your team.
I like the concept of the gardener and cultivating and growing people that way and moving away from the mechanics. See how we can implement that going forward. Yeah, he did a great job. He brought a good perspective, and he also tied together other things that we learned about in the conference and had a focus on how we now implement those into our days and weeks going forward.
This tree's really busy. I mean, this tree is so busy. It just goes through its day, and then it comes home in the evening, it goes, I was just so busy all day, but I don't feel like I accomplished anything of value. I'm sorry, that's you, right? Okay. So what do? We need to prune. My challenge for you is to be that leader looking for the harvest moments. Looking for those moments where you see a team member acting differently. Be that master gardener of leadership who recognizes your own willingness to listen to some more deeply and figure out how to engage that team member who right now is just kind of out there and they don't seem to really care about anything but a paycheck. And the minute you call attention to that, you not only celebrate that harvest moment for yourself, but the harvest moment for your team member. And that's what's important.
He was really funny and he was really engaging with the audience. You can tell that he was an educator before. Showing, not just saying that some things are hard to do at the same time. I really enjoyed his speech.
So leading like a gardener is not about making one choice and walking away. It's the choices you make every day and how you think about yourself, how you look at your team, how you interact with them, how you use your time. And if you do all those things together, then that's what creates a productive growing season that gets you to the results that you want.